Hey everybody, it's Mike Venus, La Soul, and I'm back. And this is to answer a question that was asked to me on a video dealing with the Poly 8x4. The subscriber asked me to explain, is it possible for to use both the Akai Force and an MPC Live 2, Live X together at the same time, working together, but having the capability to use both the features on both independently. And the answer is yes and no, in the sense of how I'm going to break it down. Now on my channel, I have done videos where I use both my Force and the MPC Live 2. But I no longer have my MPC Live 2. I sold it because I'm sold on the Force and what is its possibilities and capability. Right, so the way that you can get them to work together, right, is by using Ableton Link, which both the Live 2, and the MPC X have in the Force. How this works is that if you have Wi-Fi or some type of hotspot, you can use that to basically link these two devices together by Wi-Fi, right? No cables. When you do this, the tempo will be synced. So if that's what you mean, like them, working together, yes. Now, when it's hooked up like this, you can do whatever you want on the Force and then on the MPC. But remember, this only works with the MPC Live 2, and X, not with the 1 or the Studio. Okay, so clarify that, because both the Live 2, and X MPCs have Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, and the Akai Force have both Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, right? And that's how they're able to work together, meaning the tempo will be synced. So if you want to change the tempo on the MPC, right, which that gives you more flexibility because you can change the tempo based off of the sequence. Where the Force, it's one, you count this as almost as one sequence, right? Because if you was trying to, this is another topic, I spoke on it in another video, but that's how I know that the Force is just like one sequence, right? You can make different patterns and stuff on the clips to kind of give you a feel with the scenes as different scenes, or sequences, but on the MPC, that's one of the advantages they have over the Force. So if having both of these things linked together, the MPC can dictate the tempo, but the functions of what you want to do on each device can work independently on whatever they're doing. So yes, you can hook them up together through the Ableton Link, but you have to have Wi-Fi or a hotspot that's strong enough to keep the connection on point. It works. I did it a little bit, just experimenting with it when I had the Live and the Force, and I also did it where on the videos, I never posted this, but on the videos I did post me using the Force as basically the one to control the MPC by sending the MIDI out from the Force and connecting it to with a MIDI 5-pin dung MIDI cable into the back of the MPC, and use the MPC as a synthesizer. So you can do it. That's the answer to that question. The second question that was asked was asking me about this type of crack version of the OS of the Force being put on the MPCs, the Live. I think I seen it on the 1 or the X. He asked me, have I seen it? I seen the video. I once was part of that group, but I quickly left. Because number one, I work really hard for my stuff, you know, and that's not like throwaway money. That was money that was saved up, you know, well researched, and I put in a lot of hours at my job to accumulate the money that didn't interfere with my bills or anything to purchase my live to. And I was not going to risk, messing it up by putting this type of firmware in there. And plus, I got the Force. So I was like, if I have the Force, why would I want something that is inferior to it? So that's what that is. That is basically the Force OS, which is totally different from the MPC. So understand that they're not the same. They have similar features in the sense, it has the MPC sampler, the way you can edit samples, chop up samples, and in the MPC you can do that in the Force, but the way the tracks work and the arranger in this is totally different from song mode and how the tracks work on the MPC. So the OS is completely different in the Force compared to the MPC. So, if you asking me, it's whatever your workflow is, whatever your preference. I like working with the Force. That's why I stayed with the Force. I sold my MPC, didn't see the purpose of having two similar things. And I personally, even though I know the MPC workflow, I could do really well on it. This has more advantages. It's more progressive, where I felt like the MPC workflow for me was primitive. So, if you like it, that's you. I'm not saying, don't get the MPC. You can do whatever you want. That's your money. But I'm saying, if you was talking to me about, did I use that software? No. It's not JJOS. So please don't think it's like that. From what I've seen in the little Facebook group, it has a lot of bugs. The guy's constantly working on it, but I personally, if you want the Force, get the Force, bro. I mean, yeah, it's a learning curve, but once you get it down, it's water, bro. It's butter. It'd be like breathing. This shit is easy. Once you get it down, you just gotta put in the time and the work. So with that, hopefully this helped to answer your question, or anybody that had a question about that, about using both of these devices together. Ableton Link, have strong Wi-Fi, or a decent hotspot that has strong Wi-Fi where you can link up your Force, the MPC Live 2, or the X together. And I personally, I would advise nobody to really fuck with that software or that OS to try to put that in your MPC, bro. If you got an MPC, use the MPC, because if something happens, Akai is not going to cover that. And from what I've seen, the price on these things, they're not going down. More likely they will go up. And that's a lot of money to spend on anything. So that's my 2 cents on it. Hopefully this helps you. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for leaving a comment. Until the next time, y'all be blessed. Subscribe, help me get the monetization. It will tremendously help the channel. It will help with the way I do tutorials on the Akai Force and some of the stuff I like to do that will require two hands, because holding the camera with one hand and trying to do it with two hands or with another hand, it's kind of difficult, and it'll be easier to demonstrate and explain. So with that, like, share, comment, and tell me what you think. Have you tried it? What's your experience of using both of those type of devices together? Or have you tried that software? How does it work for you? And with that, I'm Mike Venus. Till next time, y'all be blessed. Mike out.